So yeah, let's kick this off. So my name is Denbow. I am, I don't even know what my title is. Got to work on that. I do a lot of stuff here. Sure, thank you. So I basically help run the Microsoft for Startups program in the US. And so I have a little agenda. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background, how I got to Microsoft, because it's not a story you would expect. Overview of the program, nomination process and criteria, and then some resources and things, and then we'll get into the other kind of Azure-focused sessions. So to kick it off, you can't lose with baby pictures. Like, works every time. So this is me when I was 2. I had my nice gold chain right here. It's my mom, who's Jamaican, and my dad is Guyanese. So we lived in the Caribbean for a while, and my mom ended up getting poisoned when she was in Guyana, and so that was like an inflection point where we're like, okay, let's move to the States and be with our family. I grew up as a obviously very smooth, cool dude, super nerdy kid, was into computers, used to do model rockets and magic and random stuff on Saturday mornings. And then I went to Carnegie Mellon to study computer science, but I ended up spending most of the time dancing in the UC. This is my favorite picture because like my friend here is so happy. Like it's like the greatest moment of her life watching me do this one move that I never pulled off after this. But I ended up starting a company. This is a little cut off, but so after Carnegie Mellon, I started kind of working on my own startups and launching stuff. And one of the things I used to do is I did a bunch of developer evangelism for Twilio and SendGrid. So I would be the person grabbing a box full of t-shirts, drop it down at the desk. They would disappear within 2 minutes. And I was like, wow, this like really works. And then people were walking around wearing those shirts saying Twilio, 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 Twilio. And both of those companies went public, right? So I guess the t-shirts work. And so that was like my light bulb was like, well, if this is like a really good marketing tactic, somebody should put it into a process in the system so you could track it and scale it and do it in different ways. And so we created this service called Startup Threads, which we rebranded to Inca. And essentially, like, does anybody use Mixpanel in this room? A couple people. So Mixpanel had this kind of funnel issue where people would sign up and within 30 days, they would not come back. And this is because the marketing person signed up, but the engineer needs to actually install the JavaScript in most scenarios if they're not using Segment or something. And so they sent this email saying, hey, get your free t-shirt. And this is one of their engineers actually. And they would ping our API in order to send a t-shirt for that person. So they shipped over $100,000 worth of t-shirts through that API. They integrated it once and it was seamless. And I had ambitions of being this $100 million promotional products company. That didn't work out. I tried to get into YC. That didn't work out. I have a really long emotional blog post if you want to get the gory details of what happened. But basically, I went through that startup up and down. Finally, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to find a job and do something. And so I ended up talking to AWS about a gig, talked to Google about a gig, and my friend was like, you should talk to Microsoft. I was like, why should I talk to Microsoft? I haven't thought about Microsoft in a while. Explain what the program was, what was going on, especially the partnership and how Microsoft supports startups as they grew. One of the reasons why this company failed was because I was trying to close these big deals and I wasn't able to do it. I lost a $500,000 deal, which would have probably saved the company, and I think we could have weathered the storm. And so not having that knowledge was one of the reasons why I wasn't able to succeed. And so knowing that the startup program at Microsoft actually does do that work is one of the things for me that was like, okay, this is a really unique thing about Microsoft, about the way Microsoft is structured, and why that can be leveraged for startups. So the program at Microsoft is really about, sorry, about leveraging all Microsoft has to offer. So obviously we have our startup ecosystem team. We have our field sales teams, the folks that go out and close deals with all different companies of all different sizes. We have our product groups. You're going to meet some of the folks who are deeply involved with that. Partner customer ecosystem. Our M12 team. M12 is like the investment arm of Microsoft that typically invests in Series A rounds. They do lead some rounds as well. So we work pretty closely with them. Our industry-focused team, so retail, healthcare, manufacturing, financial services. We have a slide that goes through all of them. And then today, special announcement today is that this is the 2-year anniversary of this program, and we're announcing within the program, you're getting GitHub Enterprise, and you're also getting Power Apps. But that's like another spoke of Microsoft, GitHub, eventually probably LinkedIn and other things will be involved as well. But you can see that we'll continue to find ways to support. Got 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna breeze through this. So what Microsoft brings to the party, 3 main areas: technology, customers, and culture. Best-in-class performance. It's a global platform. There's tons of great technology that's built that you can leverage, for your business. And then the main thing for startups is that you don't want to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to create new services that have already been built. Like, our goal is to really support you and use our research in order to make things easier for you to build so you can work on higher level things. And then Azure is about open source. So especially in the past 5 years, there's been a real commitment to source and making sure that we're contributing to the developer ecosystem. On the customer side, this is really the magic to me because I know how hard it is to close sales. And so we have a Microsoft Salesforce internally that you can leverage in order to close deals. Our partner channel, the folks that go out and resell our services. Once you're on Marketplace, they can resell your services as well. And then obviously our cloud marketplace, which is a place where people will come to find service. And so in terms of co-sell, which is where we connect you to our account teams, co-sell is the name of that program. We're announcing today we're on pace to deliver $1 billion in sales pipeline to our startups in the program in 2020. They've obviously haven't closed full $1 billion, but nobody closes 100% of their pipeline. But we have companies like Define Crowd that's closed a $3.5 million co-sell deal. So we talk to that startup, we get an understanding of where they are, what their past customers are, make a profile, then try to find ways to either identify the other accounts that we already have and then connect them to the account field sales teams that own those accounts. So we make that connection. Question?
So how does this work? Is this for like B2B software?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go through all the criteria and stuff after, but this is just to show you what is possible. And then I think the third part is culture is really important. The spirit of Microsoft is about transparency and partnership, really being good citizens in the community. And so that ethos spreads throughout the company. Ben Horowitz had this quote that said Microsoft used to scare startups, but it's now an outstandingly good partner. And I'm a fan of radical honesty. And you had times in the past where Microsoft wasn't as good of a partner as it is now. And so I wouldn't work with Microsoft if I didn't was that type of partner. And so for the Microsoft for Startups program, these are some of the benefits that you get from it. I can send this deck out so you can all have it afterwards. But you get up to 120K in Azure credits. So all the things we were talking about today, you'll be able to use that in most cases for free for 2 years. Office 365, Visual Studio, Enterprise, GitHub Enterprise, as we mentioned, that'll be announced in 2 hours. You get the support as well. So you get some onboarding help. There's Fast Track and App Consult. So you'll have these like one-on-one sessions or group sessions to help you get onboarded. On the business side, you get a dedicated startup advocate who helps you through the process. It's a virtual program, so you don't have to be in any particular place. It's all email and calls and things. Help you get onboarded to our marketplace, give you some go-to-market resources. And then our sellers worldwide are paid to sell your product. Once you hit a certain amount of Azure consumption and we show you're kind of moving through the process, then those are the things you're able to do. In terms of the criteria of the companies, the B2B focused seed or Series A type companies. And the way I would describe it is that we're looking for companies that already have an idea who their customer is and just need to scale. Like when you're ready to scale, that's the time to join the program. If you're still product market fit mode, I can't put you in front of a field salesperson and you can tell them, well, I don't know who my customer is. Like they can't identify who the right next person is. And so that's why we have an application process. That's why it's a little bit more curated, because we know that we just toss credits at any company. Like we're not going to be useful for what you're trying to accomplish. So basic stuff like less than 5 years old, less than 20 million funding, less than 10 million annual revenue. as important. So key verticals that we have a lot of support for that we'll eventually have different programs for as well: retail, manufacturing, healthcare, which hopefully I will be able to launch some things there: financial services, automotive, government, education. And the program is usually 2 years. But on time, some of this is through. So obviously the main benefits, the worldwide scale of the platform, customer relationships we have, you can leverage the 75 million customers that Microsoft has, technical expertise, sales team, and partner ecosystem. And here are some resources that might be helpful. So obviously you can check out startups.microsoft.com. You can apply for the program directly there, but better way to do it, if you want to get in the program, email me. Give myself extra time because this is our event. So if you're interested in joining the program, you can just email me. I will nominate you. Because you showed up here, you showed some interest in actually doing that. I can nominate you, and there's a higher likelihood approved. And you have access to me for any questions. I've been in the startup ecosystem for 15 years. I've seen every startup idea that exists. So I will usually be able to point you in some direction. Dan knows he's been around me in a ton of my events. So I definitely love to review pitch decks and get the 2 a.m. call, like, Frank, I'm crying, it's really hard, like, what's going on? Like, I'm there for all that too. And with that, I think we're gonna pass it off to Jennifer.